guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Noelle, and today we are talking about what shoe I'm going to use for my next marathon. So as I mentioned in my previous video, I am doing the Sydney Marathon on the 15th of September 2024. And I actually started training for this race way back in January. It was part of a New Year's resolution of sorts, just to, get the legs ticking over. And I chose to sign up for the Sydney Marathon because I was injured with plantar fasciitis for most of last year. And when I got better, or when my foot felt better, I decided that I would go for a marathon. And I said, I'm going to try to get into Berlin via the lottery, the Berlin Marathon. But if I don't get that lottery slot, I am going to sign up for Sydney. And as it happens, I didn't get the slot into Berlin. So that's how I ended up signing up for the Sydney Marathon. It's basically my big project of the year. Now, after that entire storyline, I didn't mention that when I got better and I decided to start running more, I bought a new pair of shoes. Because previous to that, I was using a few older pairs, and I was using a shoe that I feel like it contributed to my injury. Or maybe it was just the bad luck of coincidence that I was wearing that particular shoe when I got injured. And so I just went back to one of my older pairs, which was the Adidas Adizero Boston, and that was the Boston 8. Take note that I was running in 2023, and the Boston was already at, earlier in the year, it was the 11, Boston 11. So I was a few years behind the product's development. In any case, I got better wearing the Boston 8s, and so I thought to get my next pair of running shoes, I probably should follow that product line down. And I was looking at getting like earlier models, like the 10 or the 11. And then I read online from the reviews that after the Boston 8, the Boston 9 completely changed a lot of what I had experienced from the Boston 8. So I think they changed the thickness of the sole, the springiness of the energy rods, the upper, I think, was also completely different. And so I didn't know what to expect, and I didn't know if it was the kind of shoe that I really wanted to be running in. And then I read the reviews for the 12, and they said that the 12 brings the shoe back to what the Boston is meant for, and it's meant to be a training shoe for a marathon. And I was able to get one with a discount from a friend. And yeah, I began using it in my races. I used it at the Atleta Aquathlon in, I think it was in July, and then in August I did 5K, I think, also in September. So I really liked the experience that I got from the Boston 12s. And as I continued to run in them and run longer distances in them, the shoe continued to give me some really great support, considering it was a neutral shoe. Some great energy return, considering it doesn't have a carbon whatever in it. And so I thought, yeah, this is probably going to be my marathon shoe. And I've already put a few hundred kilometers on my Boston 12s. These were the Boston 12s that I bought after I recovered from my injury, and they have been such great shoes. I think with the combination of training and liking the shoes that I have, I've been able to approximate some of the times that I need to target the finish time that I want for Sydney Marathon. Now, the Boston 12s are not the only shoes I run in. I do have a good shoe rotation, and I want to thank Runner and Planet Sports for giving me the Adidas Supernova Rice pairs that I've been running in. Those are my training shoes. I know that it doesn't really follow like the product lineup for Adidas. Like they always say, you train in the Adidas Adizero Boston 12 and then you race in the Adizero Adios. But I think that the Adios is too light for me. I don't feel that it's going to give me as much support. I do land heavier than most elite runners because I'm not an elite runner. And so that's why I choose to race in what's normally considered training shoes. And my training shoes are what's normally considered, I think the Supernova is considered a more all-around everyday run training shoe. It doesn't really have like a performance, a shoe that's partnered with it for performance, if that makes sense. But I have found that the Supernova gives me enough cushioning. You know, the upper is plush, the underfoot is plush. They really can take a beating because the shoes are a bit huskier compared to the Boston 12s. And so I've really been putting the miles in on the Adidas Supernova Rise as well. Another pair of shoes I was gifted were the Reebok Float Zig 1. And I love this shoe. It's great for my easy days, my light days, because it's nice and bouncy, nice and light on the feet. Unlike the Boston 12s where you feel like they kind of give you a bit more of a spring forward in your step because of this, you know, this shape, a bit of a rocking shape. The Float Zigs don't have as much aggressiveness in that in the shape of the sole, so I can run whatever pace I want to in those shoes. So yeah, that is my shoe rotation as of the moment. But I did mention that these Boston 12s have a few hundred kilometers on them already, and I still have what, 10 weeks to go until Sydney Marathon, and I don't want these to be dead when I have to run the race. So that led me to decide that I would gift myself a pair of Boston 12s for my birthday. And I decided this last month. So I was waiting until I actually hit my birth month, which is July, before making that purchase. I was also kind of trying to juggle my expenses and trying to put off spending so that I don't overspend beyond my means. And so that's why I put it off until July. Bad luck. Because I had actually gone onto the Adidas website, Adidas Philippines website, and I had placed a pair of Adidas Adizero Boston 12s in my cart in my size, which is a size 8. I wear a half size smaller in the Boston 12s than I do in the Supernova Rise. That's just the way the fit went with this shoe. I guess it's because the upper is not as stuffed, so there's a lot more room to play around in with my toes. And the footbed for the Boston 12 is also a bit wider than the Boston 8 that I had worn before. So that's why I went down a size. Any case, it was just waiting for me to check out. And I also had like a 15% off voucher code, which you get when you sign up for Adi Club. I hadn't signed up to Adi Club previously. So I signed up with an email address of mine and I got that welcome voucher for 15%. But I wanted to see the particular shoe in person first because, you know, what if the colorway isn't what I really wanted? I don't want to buy something that I don't absolutely love. So I went to an Adidas store, I saw the colorway, I said, I love it. Yes, I'm going to buy it. And that afternoon, when I went to check out the item in my cart, it was out of stock. So I thought, okay, well, I'll probably have to wait until either they release some new stock for the 12s, or maybe I have to wait until Adidas launches the Boston 13. And I looked all over the internet. I was looking for when the Boston 13, if there is going to be one, was going to be dropped or released. And I couldn't find any release information. So I was kind of getting desperate already. I was like, am I going to be able to get another pair of these shoes that I loved? Or am I just, am I gonna run in my Boston 12s? Am I gonna have to use them more sparingly because I don't want them to be dead by the time I do my marathon? That was how it was starting to look. And then, this week is my birthday week. And I had given up all hope. But then, so the other day, my friend asked me to go out for lunch because we were going to celebrate my birthday. And so I went and met up with my friends for lunch. And then afterwards, as I was wandering the mall, because I had 2 mojitos, I didn't want to drive home just yet. I was wandering the mall. I decided maybe I should drop into that Adidas store again and take a look at the stock and ask if they have the shoe in my size. At this point, I was fully prepared to pay retail for my Boston 12s. I wasn't looking to see if I could get a discount on it or anything. I was just desperate. I wanted to buy the shoe. I wanted to make sure I had the shoes that I needed for my race. So I went to the store. I saw one colorway that was kind of like, it's okay, I guess. So I asked them to find it in my size. And then as I looked to the other display, I saw another colorway that I actually liked. It was the colorway of the shoe that I had put in my cart that went out of stock. So I asked them to find out if it was in my size. And then I looked to the wall, and the wall had this sign that said, sign up for Adi Club and get 15% off your in-store purchase. So I asked them, I already signed up for Adi Club. Do you think I can use my 15% off voucher for my in-store purchase? And they said they would check out if the Boston 12s if the voucher code was applicable for those shoes. And they were. I'm so happy. I'm just so happy that I got the shoes that I wanted. And it's a colorway that I actually like too, because look at that pink. Look at that pink inside. And it's a darker, kind of like a maroon or old rose, which is great because it doesn't really show the dirt. I want to show you the first pair of Boston 12s that I got. They were white, but they're kind of brown in certain spots now because no matter how much I try to scrub them or keep them clean, there's still definitely going to be some staining going on. And this new pair will not show that sort of dirt or staining or whatever. It won't easily show it. In fact, I actually already ran with it. I ran 11 miles or 18 kilometers straight out of the box with it yesterday. And it's already dirty and stuff, but the ride was impeccable. Like, I did not feel any pain in my feet, any other pain other than the usual long run aches that you get when you run a long distance. The Boston 12s, honestly, I love them, and I really do think that they are my marathon shoe, and I'm going to be running in them. So now I have my old pair of Boston 12s with the easy laces, and I have a new pair of Boston 12s which I will install easy laces in, because one of the things about the Boston 12s is that, the lacing is a little bit fiddly, but once you get it right, it's perfect. And yeah, I will be alternating the Boston 12s when I do my long runs, when I do my tempos. And I know that come race day, I won't be running in dead shoes. I will have one of these two. Whether or not I run in my white pair or my old rose pair, that remains to be seen. Let's see how the white pair ages as we go along. But if there is a significant difference in the springiness and the support that they will provide me on race day, then I will definitely go with the newer pair. But if not, I'll run in the old pair, write my marathon time on them, and retire them. I wanted to share that with you guys because there has been discourse in the local running community about, you know, whether or not to buy the top of the line shoes. You know, some people are in it for the aesthetics, other people are in it for performance. Some people confuse aesthetics and performance. And well, I'm here to say that buy what you like, but also buy what you need for whatever your goal is. If your goal is, like me, to run a marathon, then buy the shoe that realistically is in your budget, that will give you the best chance to perform well. That's for me. But if you're in it just for fitness sake and stuff like that, you do have a lot of disposable income, I won't blame you if you buy an Alpha Fly or whatever. Just know that it's not a requirement to buy the top of the line shoes if you're running. I don't buy top of the line shoes. I buy what I believe is suitable for me, for whatever it is that I'm aiming to do. Alright guys, that's it for this week. If you found this video informative and entertaining, please give me a thumbs up. If you haven't yet, please subscribe to my channel, and I will see you again next time. Bye!